Hey, Eagles. It's great to see you again. As you can see, I've got a little I Spy cat in the background. So many pets around this house. The cats seem really interested today in what I'm talking about. And thank you so much to those of you who sent me awesome pictures of your pets. They were so cute. I love seeing other people's pets. So thanks again. Um, we left off yesterday where, let me see, Rufus went on a crazy adventure through his play yard during recess time. And at the very end, Lorena, a girl in his class, looked behind him and talked to him about why this guinea pig was chasing him. And he wondered why Lorena even thought it was a she. So let's find out what happens today in the chapters. So sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Chapter 13. I wasn't as nervous to go home that day. In fact, I couldn't wait to get there. I slipped out after the bell without Murph seeing me, which isn't so tough to do. His focus is not usually on any one person until it's a cute girl, which I am definitely not. Dimitri was helping out by trying desperately to show Murph his U-phone, which he had rushed to get from Ms. Sharp before the bell had finished ringing. The phone had beeped too many times during class, and she had confiscated it. I grabbed my jacket from my locker, scrambled outside, got my backpack from under the bush, and shot like a bullet toward home. My loose left shoe slowed me down, but I didn't stop to replace the lace or to check on Fido in my bag. I didn't want anyone catching up with me and bugging me about the strange animal at recess. I just wanted to get home. Dad was waiting for me just inside the door again. "Hello, son," he said, his eyes glowing in the dark. Uh, Hi, Dad. "Fine day at school?" "I guess." I started to edge by him. He blocked me. "Aren't you going to ask about my day?" "Oh, sure. How was your day, Dad?" "On the whole, nerve-wracking. Thanks for asking." I looked at him blankly. "But, Fido," I started to say, then wondered if I should volunteer how she stowed away and got loose at school and everything. If Dad had a bad day, it couldn't have been Fido's fault. It must have been because of something else. I had taken off in a real rush this morning. I bet I forgot to do something like bust my dishes. No, all I had was a banana, and I distinctly remember throwing the peel in the compost, not the garbage. I couldn't think of anything I did or didn't do that would have made Dad's day nerve-wracking. That is, anything that would have bugged him all day long. Why was it nerve-wracking? I asked. "Well, first I spent an hour hunting for your mother's Petopia," he said, "without success, of course." Oh, good. That was Mom's fault. "And then I spent the rest of the day trying to work while being driven stark, raving mad by the chattering of that, his face got all red and scary. That that creature." I took a couple of breaths, sort of letting his anger cloud blow over me. Then I said, "But Dad, Fido was—" "So maybe you have some idea how we might rectify this untenable situation, son," he interrupted. "After all, I do have a living to make." I shrugged. I wasn't exactly sure what he had said. Luckily, Fido said something. I'd forgotten about her for a minute, if you can believe that. That's what Dad can do to me. He can make me forget I have a chubby rat in a sack in my back. When Fido started whining, Dad's shoulders shrank up to his ears. "Find her, Rufus," he growled. "Find her wherever she is, and I'll destroy her." "But, Dad, she's right here in my backpack. That's what I'm trying to tell you. She stowed away in it this morning somehow, and she's been at school with me all day." Dad's shoulders fell. So did his jaw and his face. I never saw somebody go from so tight to so loose so fast. "But," he muttered. "Look," I said, and I took off my backpack, untied the shoelace, and unzipped the zipper. A smell rushed out at my nostrils. It was not a nice smell. Right behind it was Fido's twitchy face. She, of course, licked mine. Well, my face wasn't twitchy. Then again, maybe it was. She was, Dad said, looking down at her. He was still acting weirdly dazed. She was with you all day? Yeah, she was in my backpack. After I found her, I hid the backpack in some bushes. She was in there all day. That wasn't exactly true. She got out. Who knows? Maybe she went home and bothered Dad and came back before recess. It was possible. Maybe after recess, after I tied her in, she squealed so loud that Dad heard her from home. No, that was impossible. Dad had sensitive hearing, very sensitive hearing, but no human being could hear a guinea pig from that distance. Nope, she couldn't have bugged him all day, so that was my justification for not telling him about the recess parade. Neat, huh? So then she wasn't here? Dad said. He sounded like he was talking to himself, so I didn't answer. His forehead got all worry-lined. I'll take her out back and play with her so she won't disturb you any more, I said. Dad nodded, then turned away. Thanks. I carried my backpack outside and dumped it out onto the grass. Fido ran around in circles, hopping and barking and acting nuts, so I ordered her to sit, and she sat. The people who trained her knew what they were doing. It was a pity we couldn't find the store where Mom bought her. I bet a lot of people in Rustbury would want a trained guinea pig. Not me, though. I wanted a dog. Her little turds were hard and didn't smell too bad. Neither did the pee, though it smelled worse. There were some signs of gnawing and scratching on the inside of the bag, but nothing major. I expected it to be worse. Though she shouldn't have stowed away, she had been sort of good. Yes, she did totally embarrass me in front of the entire 5th grade, but that wasn't exactly her fault. I probably left the zipper unzipped. I should try to remember to start closing things I want closed. Such as my mouth around Mom when I want a dog. Fido sat up looking at me, her front paws dangling, her nose and whiskers twitching. All of a sudden, the white mohawk just cracked me up, and I, totally lost it. She was a weird, weird little thing, no doubt about it, but she sure did aim to please. I tossed a twig a couple feet away, and she raced after it. When she brought it back, I threw it again, then again, and again. 20 times, maybe 30. She was always ready for another toss, hopping up and down, wagging her butt. It wasn't exactly playing fetch with Buddy. It wasn't remotely like playing fetch with Buddy. But, yeah, okay. In a way, it was fetch. Fetch with a tiny twig and a rotund rodent. One time, instead of coming back with a twig, she had a dusty old piece of string. She dropped it in the grass, then picked up one end in her teeth. The other end dangled. You want me to take that? She growled. It was a very tiny growl coming from a very tiny throat, buried deep in the fur around her neck, but I'm going to cut her some slack here and call it a growl. I took the other end of the string, and she gripped her end tighter and growled a bit deeper. Tug of war? I asked, pulling my end a little harder. Are you kidding me? She dug her front claws into the sod. She wagged her butt, trying to maximize her weight distribution like a TV wrestler, or at least that's what it looked like to me. I tugged a little bit harder. Understand that I was pinching my end of the string between my finger and thumb, and that holding on to it took absolutely no strength at all. This was totally one-sided. She was doing all the tugging. She dug her claws deeper into the ground and pulled on the string with all her weight. The string snapped between her sharp front teeth, and she rolled over backward like a fuzzy cantaloupe 3 or 4 times. It was one of the funniest things I'd ever seen in my life. I fell over laughing. I laughed till it hurt, which felt pretty good. Fido just ran around and around me, squealing. Dad slid open the window in the study and hollered, Rufus! I stopped laughing. Fido stopped circling, and we looked up. Dad sighed. Then he smiled. I wasn't sure at that distance if it was a pleasant smile or a maniacal one. Never mind, he said, and slid the window shut. I shrugged at Fido. Did she shrug back? Probably not, but it looked like it. Rufus? A voice called out. It came from the front of the house. Rufus! I don't know the code. Do I need a code? It was Lorena Schraitz. What was she doing at my house? I ordered Fido back into my backpack, and she obeyed without a whimper. Lorena was on the front porch. She was not hard to spot. Her hair is very long, like never been cut in her life long, and wavy curly and goldenish. She puts a lot of things in it, girl things, hair things. And she wears really girly clothes, too, dresses, skirts, shiny shoes, sweaters that button down in the front. Here's what she doesn't wear. Normal clothes, like jeans or athletic shoes or t-shirts or hoodies. I really can't knock? She asked. What are you doing here? I asked. I have to have a code? My dad works from home. Oh, she said, thinking this over. I was heading over to the rec center because they started a new Scrabble club, and I came by to ask you to join me if you'd like. You're the only other person I know who likes to anagram. If you don't go, there might not be anyone there except me, that is. She laughed. Why? Because she thought what she said was funny. She often thinks what she says is funny, and she laughs at it, usually alone. So, what do you say? She asked, clapping her hands together. Want to come? It was true that I liked to anagram, and that not very many other kids did. But did I want to join a Scrabble club or hang out with kids who would? More important, was it worth walking down the street with Lorena to check it out? It was the kind of thing that could ruin a fifth grade guy's image. Not that my image was all that hot. Still, I was leaning toward not risking it. Fido spared me the decision. Chapter 14. I guess I forgot to zip it up again. So it is your guinea pig, Lorena said, looking down at Fido, who had joined us in the front yard. She was standing next to my laceless left shoe, up on her hind legs, looking up at us, her tongue hanging out. She had escaped the backpack yet again. You can't bring her to the rec center, Lorena said. No pets allowed. It's the rules. She's not my pet, Lorena, I said. She's... Once again, the lie wouldn't come. Followed you home, Lorena said. Right. What are you calling her? Why do you think she's a girl? Lorena set her hands on her hip and rolled her eyes at me. This was supposed to mean something, I'm sure, but I have no idea what. Okay, her name is Fido, I said, and she's mine, but please don't tell anyone, or the guys at school will kill me with jokes. Please, we're not keeping her. My dad hates her. We're taking her back to the pet store as soon as we find it. It was all my mom's idea. I wanted a dog. Lorena crouched down and put her hand out. The million bangles she always wears on her wrist bangled. Fido sniffed her fingers, then licked them. Lorena giggled. Maybe I'll take her home, she said. One of my hamsters died last month. What's that mean? It means my chinchilla needs a playmate. I was getting real nervous standing in my front yard talking to her and doing so with Fido all in broad daylight. So I asked, Can we go out back? I don't want anyone to see you with a Guinea pig. She actually spelled out the whole word. It took an eon. Or see you with a GIRL. Just come on. I set Fido down in the backyard. She warmed up to Lorena pretty fast. It was probably the smell of chinchilla on her. How did your hamster die? I asked. Natural causes. Like lightning or something? She laughed so hard I about had a heart attack. No, he died of old age. She made quotes with her fingers. So, you don't want this guinea pig? I told you. I want a dog. So then, can I have Fido? Strangely, I hesitated. I mean, I should have jumped all over that offer, but I said, I better check with my mom. I think she wants the refund. Lorena rolled her eyes again. I will pay you for her, duh. Are you rich or something? No, but I have been saving some money for a replacement since Amherst died. Amherst is the hamster? Gee, I don't know. Why don't you anagram it, Mr. Scrabble expert? Oh, I get it. Good one. So, do we have a deal? Your mom gets her money. I get Fido. I don't need the cage, though. I have cages. Your mom could get a refund on the cage. What do you say we go talk to your dad about it? He can call your mom. Or does she work at home, too? She was so weird. She and Fido belong together. My mom works at Try Your Best Hardware. She'll be home about 5:30 or so. I'll talk to her about it then. Again, the girl rolled her eyes. Maybe they were loose or something. All right, put Fido away then, and let's go to the rec center before it's too late for the Scrabble Club. I can't leave Fido alone here with Dad. She drives him nuts, remember? Well, you can't bring her to the rec center. Then I guess I'll have to take a rain check, Lorena. She clucked her tongue. You're goofy, Rufus. She skipped away. I'll come by in the morning for my guinea pig, she called over her shoulder. I was confused for a second how she could be coming the next morning, and then I remembered it was Friday, and the next day was Saturday. But I was still pretty confused about a bunch of other things, including why I didn't jump at the chance to unload Fido. I decided the only thing to do was to get out my bike. Riding it always helped me think. I packed Fido securely into my backpack so I wouldn't come home to a crabby daddy, left a note on the magnetic memo pad on the fridge, went out to the garage, hopped on my bike, and hit the open road. Maybe it's the freedom to go where you want to as fast as you want to. Maybe it's all the oxygen and the sky and your heart and your muscles all pumping hard. Yeah, okay, I know your heart is a muscle, so that wasn't really necessary to say, but not everybody knows that. It's so totally amazing that a bike stays up like it does while going so fast and making sharp turns and even catching air too, if you can do that kind of thing. I can. It's like when you think about yourself and realize how incredible it is that you can do all the things you do at the same time: walk, talk, run, eat, taste, see, pedal, jump, kick, blink. The brain is this amazing computer, and the body is this incredible machine, and they just run and run and run on like fuel that other machines, other people grow or kill. Animals, which are machines too, for you. Computers have to be plugged in or have batteries, but we just go and get our own fuel. Our body does, our machine. No machines can move the way ours does. Yeah, there are robots, but no robot can, like, play soccer even or ride a bike as good as me. Most of the time, you don't even think about how it all works, how your brain and your body are constantly doing all these amazing things. Most of the time, you just think about stuff you're not doing, or watch stuff, or read, or do stuff for school, or just hang out. But your computer and your machine are working 24/7. So I think what I think happens when you work your body real hard, like riding your bike or playing soccer or whatever, is that you don't have very much energy left over in your brain for other kinds of thinking, like worrying and dreading and stuff, which is why riding your bike is good at clearing your head. Even if all I do is bike around the curvy streets and cul-de-sacs of my neighborhood in the flat little town I live in, my problems start seeming really unimportant and dumb. What if word got out that I had a pet guinea pig? Would I be teased to death? Should I just give or sell Fido to Lorena? Why was I even hesitating? Didn't I still want a dog? All these questions buzzed around my brain for the first couple blocks, then they didn't. And this is what I figured out. It was fun being a kid on a bike with nowhere to go. Everything else could wait till my bike and me were back in the garage.